whereas the previous edition only had 4 teams. We will be going into our first map between Baby Servants and the Juice from the first group, from Group A. And the first map pick is in favor of Baby Servants, and they have chosen Horizon Lunar Colony, which I personally greatly approve. Tyrant, you happen to know some of the players on both teams as well. Could you give me a bit of a rundown on their teams, what their strengths and weaknesses could be, and possibly even the map pick?
Yes, exactly. So map pick first for Baby Servants. Team Baby Servants, you currently see Dristic and Voidless together. Dristic, amazing DPS player from what I know. I don't know him that well, but from what I've heard, amazing DPS player. And Voidless, well, his off-tank is quite known in the Discord at the moment. I'm thinking that those two will probably carry/lead the team. But on the opposition, you do have pre-existing synergy between Bohyort and Suzu, who are the flex support and DPS play respectively. So they can probably communicate better with each other and probably pop off in the same way.
Definitely true. I know Bo and Suzu all too well from my own experience, and I'm curious to see if they can bring that same synergy from Team Speedman onto this match. But on the other hand, like you mentioned, we do have Dristic and Voidless to match that synergy on the other team. Once again, a very potent, flexible DPS player, and in this case, an off-tank is Voidless. So we will be seeing how those teams will pan out for one another. They definitely have their strengths and weaknesses here and there, but we'll see how things pan out. Going to go into Horizon Lunar Colony, and like I mentioned, it's one of the maps that I'm just really favoring at all times. Whenever I see it, I'm happy, and I always make 11 people very sad when I choose the map or even suggest it. So we will be seeing what they will do, and I'm kind of curious to see what Baby Servants would like to do with this map, because on the one hand, it has a lot of potential for dive-heavy compositions, but on the other hand, there's also some very interesting tanky lineups you can do, and with players like Kit Switcher, players like Wayne, and still people like Dristic and Voidless who can play a nasty off-tank in their own rights. I'm really curious to see what they'll bring out, if it will be a divey composition or maybe a bit slower and tanky.
Yeah, exactly. I have no idea what they're going to run here. Again, every hero is enabled, so if Team Baby Servants really wanted to, they could run goats if they wanted, but I think we're going to skip on that composition and probably see a bit more dive, as I think Dristic and Suzu both want to play their respective DPS roles and pop off on those heroes instead of tanks. Exactly.
Indeed, indeed. One thing that I'm very curious about, though, is what Bo and Suzu will bring to the table, because of course they Bo as a flex support can play a nasty on or Zenyatta, but if you combine it with Suzu's Genji, then of course Nanoblade will be a very viable option. But on the other hand, Horizon Lunar Colony has traditionally been a map where a hero like Junkrat is very strong, even after he got nerfed a bit. So I'm really curious to see what they'll bring out, and if they bring that Junkrat to the table, then maybe we'll have a bit more of a bunker composition with a lot of damage, and maybe Bo will play something else than his trademark on our Zen. We'll see. It seems
exactly,
like both teams are ready, so it looks like we'll be hopping into the map momentarily. That's going to be very interesting and exciting. Okay, first map of our tournament is underway.
Exactly, traveling to Horizon Lunar Colony, everyone.
Winston's hometown. I cannot imagine a better start to this.
Is it really his hometown, though? Wouldn't he have been born on Earth?
No, he did not. He was not created on Earth, if you will. He was born on the moon. On the Horizon Lunar Colony base. The more you know, the more you know.
Interesting.
Indeed.
Lore lessons with Argyle.
Hey, there's only one thing that's important in Overwatch. It's not balance, it's the lore, okay?
It's the lore, exactly.
Right.
Who gives a damn about goats? We all want to hear the lore.
I all want to know the creation of Goats Combat. I kind of know how it happened. It was conceptualized in Season 10.
Theory crafting at 3 AM, even getting into the losers bracket at Beat Invitational.
Indeed.
5 seconds until we will see what the defense will bring to us.
And the same kind of goes for the offense to some extent. We will be seeing
exactly.
Voidless on his trademark Roadhog going back for Season 5 and Prayer Roots. And in the same way, Kit Switcher also flexing off his common Reinhardt Zarya Winston to a bit of Orisa gameplay. It's going to be very interesting.
Exactly. Now here you want to play around those halt hook combos. Certainly in something like a puck tourney where not everybody is playing like a team or a scrim team, you could easily pick out individual players with those halts and those hooks.
Looking at Red Team in the meantime, though, we're putting Boyards on the Ana, but Suzu's getting into the Samurai. He's not per se looking for those nanoblades, but he's really looking to set his team up. And with Fokudangle on the Hanzo and then the Reinhardt Zarya with that, you'll have some scary graph combos and some scary nano boosted shatters and all that. Let's see what they can bring to the table.
Team Blue holding it a quite interesting position, holding a bit further
very
back.
close to the point, but in the absence of a diva, I can understand that you want to be close to the point. Sonic Arrow gets fired into it. Teams are kind of looking around. Damage gets traded back and forth. Just in the meantime,
coming in onto the Reinhardt.
Chris Creek finds a
Amazing
massive
pick
pick
up
onto
from Chris Creek.
Boyard. That's crucial. This will really seal this fight completely shut for him. And in the meantime, Red Team forced to regroup, and they're looking to go into outer space right now. That's going to be very interesting. They're definitely committing. The question is, though, will Bo be able to make the transition to there? Because there's no Lucia to speed with him around and to get him into position.
Certainly interesting, and we already see Suzu coming in with the flank, getting that important information in, looking, or at least communicating with the team that they have not rotated and staying at the same place.
Indeed, some troubles get traded back and forth. In the meantime, Boyard is with his team again, but still they're really indecisive on where to push. And once again, the hack comes in on Reinhardt, leading all the damage to lead to his team. And once again,
another
Chris, crucial pick.
Amazing.
Indeed. Chris, there's only been 2 kills in this fight so far, in this entire map even. But those 2 picks were all from Chris Creek, and they were crucial pick-offs on the main source of damage, but also on the main source of healing. Chris really getting his value going with that damage boost from Gallia.
Exactly, and we see the tank line pushing up a bit aggressively. Normally, as an Orisa, you would play defensively. Suzu already going on the point, being a huge annoyance.
But do keep in mind, Huckleberry got hacked again, and now the EMP comes in. Huckleberry has barely spent any time being unhacked. The Hulk hook comes in, all the damage flies in. Boyard's out of the picture, and Voidless cleans up with Dristic. That synergy is working well for them, and I'm yet to see that synergy come up from Bo and Suzu right now.
Exactly, that was a huge 4-man EMP, sealing off the fight, disabling the Reinhardt. He was bursted within a second. And look at, well, Team Red already having some ult saved up though, so this could be potentially another EMP Nano.
Indeed, well, we do have that EMP Nano coming up. The rest of the team is still looking to make that transition into those ult charges. Whereas we look at Blue Team, they only use the EMP, and look at all the other ults that are coming up. Alter comes in onto Huckleberry, who's very low on HP, needs all the help from his team, but Dristic takes him off once again. And it would seem like this is yet another successful hold for Blue Team, for Baby Servants. And it would seem that Red Team has to reset once again, with only 1 minute 30 on the clock. It's looking very dire for him.
However, they're stuck in this tight corridor, and Voidless is ready with the 600 HP
the shield popped down as well. Well, there's an extra shield that popped down from Marissa too. Halter comes in again, and Foku is being picked and found. Very crucial Halter combo there, very nicely set up.
They're pushing upwards, and Waynen is going to spot them out, losing the duel against Bo.
Bo gets the first pick for that team. Bo actually finds 2, picking off both supports, showing what an Ana can do. ML7, is that you? In the meantime, though, both teams are on an equal footing. 2 picks back and forth, but Huckleberry gets taken down once more by Voidless, really showing what Dorado can do. Bench, in the meantime, on point with Lucia. Foku angle takes down Chris Creek, and we see that this is their opening that they're looking for. The grab is coming close. Foku with yet another pick. Voidless once again stabilizes it, and it's still everyone's game, anyone's game, equal fight. Foku with his 3rd pick.
Voidless, bring it back!
Voidless getting all the kills, but do keep in mind, Blue Team does not have a Lucia, whereas Red Team does, and their spawns are significantly closer, and it would seem that this is their chance to go for it. Suzu is in the meantime on point, the rest comes in onto Kinsworth to have the tank ability. And Nanobus is somewhere which just TP'd out, it's going to take a couple seconds to get back. They need to get this Reinhardt Zarya into the final. EMP comes in, but Gallia is not hit by it, and a new EMP comes in for the other team. Huckleberry falls once more, and the ult need to come in now. Can they farm that last bit of the grab con? Because that dragon is ready, but we're looking 80%, 90%. We're getting close, but Voidless finds 2 together with Waynen. 3 picks, and that's team kill right there. And not a single chance to use those ultimates. They barely got them off, and it would seem that Blue Team Baby Servants is looking to full hold this first map.
Well, an amazing performance coming out from Voidless on that Roadhog. It was, to be honest, quite a lost fight for Team Blue, but having that hog on the field with his vape.
Don't just forget his vapes, but he got like 3 or 4 picks in that fight.
Exactly, this was a bit of pull target focus, and yeah, this hog staying alive as last is kind of the hero you want to
letting him get those picks, that's very rough. But then again, this was their map pick, and looking back, people are always like, 2SP is a bit of a weird game mode. But looking at how they did it now, it's definitely true they were very well able to full hold on this map, and they only need 1 tick to clean up here.
And not only that, most people say 2CP is quite the game mode because of the 2nd point, because the spawns are this close, but the spawns were quite far.
Indeed.
They were able to like.
The res came in onto Kinswitcher, meaning that Team Blue, Baby Servants, had their entire tank line ready to go. Voidless lived through the entire ordeal, And when Kid
That
Switcher
is
got
very
res, he
true.
was like back in the fight, and that tank line is pumping all that damage and stall in there. And don't forget as well, when the EP came in from Suzu, Gallia hit very cleverly behind the pillar on point. And in that case,
That
she was
is-
not hit by the EMP, got the Valkyrie going, and that just sustained the team through everything.
Exactly, very nice execution on the defense from Team Baby Servants.
Mhm.
Wonder where they got that name from. But
I know a thing or two, but let's keep that under the teams for now. In the meantime, though, Red Team is making some swaps, and I'm wondering, what would you want to do if you were Red Team, or you have to full hold, there's no other option, what would you go to? It seems that they are putting Boyards on the Reinhardt and putting Dustlewa on the healing. In this case, with Moira to get a lot of stop potential going. But will it be enough? We're about to see.
well, we see both teams have a triple tank lineup.
Indeed.
However, the healing from Red Team is with a Moira, and from Blue Team is with a Ana. And you also see
Keep
the
in mind,
Reaper coming
Chris
out
is
as
on the
Sword
Reaper, and when that nano, when the good old Beyblade comes in, there's no Diva to matrix any of that. Boyer gets anti-nated. Suzu takes down Wayne, tanks get traded back and forth. Voidless finds yet another pick, and it looks like Blue Team is clearing this up instantly. 3 picks for them for Gallia on the Lucio, flexing those support muscles, and it seems like that's our first map. A very clean take here from Team Baby Servants.
that was
However,
indeed a very clean
there's
take.
now a payload map at the hand of the other team of the Jews, and they will be able to make some swaps now in terms of substitutions. So we'll see if we see anything interesting there.
That is very much true. The only thing that Red Team needed to do was deny the point, and that is what they couldn't really do,
Indeed,
as they
Kids
didn't
Switcher
have the composition
finding-
for it. And you see this Reaper, if he's on point and you want to
Yes.
challenge him, well, good luck. And certainly now that he heals half the damage that he does, which is
Incredible.
really low.
Looking at that Voidless, 4 golden medals out of 5 total medals. That's very impressive. And Dristic, with those EMPs, every EMP that he landed on someone instantly led to a kill. As you can see, 7 enemies EMP'd and 7 offensive assists. Maybe some hacks contributed here and there, but he was definitely crucial, not Sombra. Now,
exactly that.
we will be seeing some interesting things, because, like you mentioned, the Reaper is getting a lot of very good picks going, if you will. One of the key things that was Kid Sword, you're finding the kill onto Boyer, trading those main tanks' lives, and to be honest, with just a Zarya and a Roadhog against the Reaper, you're in a whole lot of hurt, and that was very well played by Team Baby Servants there on the tank line.
Yes, exactly. I would have wished to see a Diva instead of a Roadhog there if they really wanted to go up against the Reaper. Then again, they
Indeed.
wouldn't know they were going up against it.
That's the problem of being full health. You have to just guess it right, if you will. In the meantime,
Exactly.
we will see some swaps. On Team The Juice, we'll see Huckleberry is going to be swapped out for Xarbrol momentarily. And I'm not seeing any swaps come in from Baby Servants as of yet, which is fine enough. It's at their own disposal how they would like to regulate their substitutions, but we might be able to see if Xarbrol can lend just a bit of extra DPS power in that team.
Well, certainly, Team Baby Servants doesn't really have to switch. I mean, their performance on last
Their performance was
map
stellar.
was stellar. Quite the thing.
Indeed.
Right, so as we've seen in the map being loaded up, it's
Indeed.
Dorado.
It's Dorado, the map pick. And you know what? With Suzu being like so flexible on the very mobile DPS heroes, thinking Sombra, thinking Genji, there's like definitely some of the heroes he likes to play. I think this could really be a map that will lend to his favor.
Mhm. Most
Let's
certainly.
Looks like the
The
teams
DPS
are readying
however,
themselves up again.
The DPS lineup for the Juice might be more beneficial to this. You can sub in snipers, but you can also really benefit from those dive heroes.
Mhm.
Suzu on that Genji, well, he'll be able to do a lot, and Foku as well, being able to switch over to both the Widowmaker or Hanzo if necessary.
Indeed.
This is quite their map.
Indeed, and although there weren't that many kills being traded on the last map of Horizon Lunar Colony, we did see Foku got a lot of picks on the Huns in the one fight that they were looking to win. However, Chris started off the second fight with 1 pick onto Foku Dangle, so it seems like those two were very much in close competition to one another, and I'll be curious to see how they could function on a map like Dorado, and then especially looking at Street Fates, which is so sniper dominated at times. And
Yeah,
it looks like they'll be
exactly.
the key crucial points for that team.
Chris Creek, kind of a player that goes under the radar here. His mechanics are quite surprising.
On point.
Getting at least making so that the enemy team couldn't push for more than 1.5 minutes by those staggered picks.
Indeed.
So he's really been doing work. So the sniper matchup is quite even here. It's going to be between Dristic and Suzu to
Yes.
really pop up for that team.
And I'm wondering how they'll address it, because on the one hand, let's say that you're Suzu, right? You can say, you know what, I'll give Fokudeng the advantage in this little duel, if you will. by keeping the enemy sniper busy as well, so he has all the space to him. But then again, Dristic could also be like, you know what, I'm going to give space to Chris, I'll keep Suzu off of his back. So I'll be curious to see how those DPS interplays will turn out, if you will. It's going to be very curious. But then again, we all know what the state of Overwatch is in, so you might just see some Brig as a flex DPS, I hope not, but it might be very realistic.
It is certainly an option, and just as we say that, we're entering in Dorado, the second map of the series between Babies as Servants and the Juice.
Indeed, and like we said, the first map, Horizon of the Column, was definitely won out by Baby Servants quite clearly. But I'll be curious to see what they can bring to the table now, and if anything, King of the Hill map, it can really go either way, both in terms of if you win the first fight, you have a big advantage, but also in terms of just what map specific, or what sub-map will be taken. But this would seem like the ideal chance for the Juice to get back into this game. And we will be pausing soon, so we're waiting for that final pause to kick in on about 20 seconds, and then we'll be with you quite shortly again. Okay, so thinking of some possible things here. Okay, so let's say if you're the Juice, right? I'm just going to say that they will be attacking. I can't really see it as of yet, but let's just suggest that they're attacking. What would you like to see from them?
Attacking, in fact.
They are attacking, okay. What would you like to see from them?
I would like to see the same thing that I want to quite see from Babies as Juice as well, which is a dive comp centered around a Widowmaker or a Hanzo, even double snipers even, because this map has those sidelines to really benefit the snipers, and not only that, we both know that Fokudangle and Suzu can play their snipers respectively.
Indeed, they can play them incredibly well. And don't forget as well, if you play a very clean point A, if you will, then you'll go into the second point, Street Phase, which is a very high ground center, but also has a lot of long sniper sidelines. And in that case, if you can get onto that Winston Deva, and you can get onto those sniper heroes, then you have a very perfect lead into Street Phase.
What I see coming out here from Team Blue is actually quite one of my favorite compositions back in the day, but it's kind of a variation. Normally... and
we'll have a small disconnect. Well, we will hopefully be back momentarily. In worst case scenario, there is another option if Huckleberry gets back into the game, but he would have to be in there. But like you said, Dristic on the Soldier, not a hero that you see very often, but he's bringing it on. I'm curious to see what he can do. He has to resources put around him, though.
Exactly. Well, this comp is kind of centered around that Soldier 76 pick. Normally, in Season 3, you would have Reinhardt, Zarya, and I think... Reinhardt, Diva, and a Roadhog together with a Soldier. But this variation on that triple tank, quite more beneficial to the Soldier. You have the Discord Orbs and the Mercy damage boost, which allows Soldier 76 to burst targets extremely fast.
And don't forget as well, with Mercy's Zen healing not being as potent, where there is triple tank in the field, that healing field can get just a little bit of extra healing in. It can be very beneficial in the sense of your own ult charge, but it can also sustain your tanks just a bit more. But it might be rough healing up 3 tanks with a Mercy Zen composition, but we'll see how they pull it off. If they can make it work very well again, then they definitely got my respects. They made Roadhog with Orisa work, which is definitely not something you see a lot of these days. So we'll see how they manage to pull it off.
Exactly. Well, certainly they might be able to survive if they play a bit more passive. I would have liked to see the Rhine come out from Kit Switcher, but
he's going for
the Winston can work here if to deny a high ground space from what I at least expected is double sniper coming out from the opposition.
Could be. Dustley is taking up the Winston. I'm just still curiously waiting to see what Suzu will do. Dristic in the meantime is taking a very nasty position onto the red roof. Map will begin in a couple seconds. Suzu is still yet to pick his hero. Will he go for a triple DPS composition? He will pick up the Ashe. And we all know what Nanobomb and Nanoblade can do. Dustley has to play this very carefully.
Not only that, but Suzu's Ashe is, the Ashe is the signature hero.
One of his. In the meantime, Dustley taking a lot of damage and gets taken out by Dristic. They've got all the resources put onto that little high ground there, the red roof. Both tanks are up there to just protect him, and in the meantime, with no tank for the Juice, it's looking like a very rough situation to be in.
Well, again, you need to get that Soldier off the high ground. The Winston took the initiative and actually got it. Wayne picking off Zerbil in the back.
Did you see that? Chris Creek was with us saying out it's a bubble in case the Tracer came to harass, and Xarbal on the Tracer did come to harass. Chris Creek just steps in between, body blocks a bit, and suddenly one nasty headshot from Wayne and just seals the deal there. Voidless takes down Folk and Dristic once again, takes down Dustley, and the Visor is already offline! And they're pushing in with it, getting all the space going. Dristic takes down 2 more people after he already took down the Winston. Very clean fight for Baby Servants again.
It is only 1 minute into this map, and he already has a tactical visor. You do not see that often. Tactical visor, a very hard ultimate to build.
Indeed, and do keep in mind there's only one tank on red team to really take that ult charge from. But in the meantime, Fokudangle and Boyard are closing in on those ultimates, and Wayne is not quite there yet. One Nanoblade here could be disastrous for the defense.
Exactly, we will see the Nanoblade come online very shortly, and I think if you're that Genji, you want to get that soldier out of the fight. He's been doing so much.
Doing so much work, but he's also the only DPS that can really deal with you. I don't see a Zarya or a Winston really cutting through a Nanoblade. As we said it, Wayne takes down Dustleo once more. Bubbles get traded back from Xarbal, takes down Wayne, and there comes the blade, but the Boostio comes in. Bird with just a tiny bit of unluck there. And Fokudangle cannot get that blade to work. In the meantime, the res comes in from Gallia as well. And it would seem that once again, Baby Servant is getting a lot of work done on this defense. And Red Team was so close to pushing that, but they staggered just at the end.
Well, they would have won that. The Zenyatta did not have Transcendence.
And they are trying to win it. Bob being committed, but in the meantime, Kid Switcher goes onto the backline and takes down Boyard. Bob in the meantime finding the kill on Dristic, and Pulse Bomb gets traded. A lot of ults here back and forth, and Benched, he wants to commit to this, he wants to get his team to go in. In the meantime, Kid Switcher committing the Primal Rage. Dustleo still has his, Transcendence gets popped now by Wayne, and that means there's no support else online at all anymore, so Dustleo really has chances in his hands here. Goes in back, goes in deep in the back line, but Dustleo gets taken down before he can commit the Primal Rage, but Foku takes down Gallia.
Yeah, exactly, we see the Genji coming onto the Soldier 76. This fight!
It's anyone's game once again, 2 for 2, 1 up now. Souza gets the final crucial pick, but the technical visor comes in once again, takes down Xarbal. Still trades coming in back and forth. It's still a completely equal fight. Everyone's game. Voidless being solo on the point. He needs to get taken down. They need to land this final bit of damage, and Dustleo now comes back with the Primal Rage, but Voidless is still on low HP. But he gets anti-hit once again. His second time is being anti, but he manages to keep that mech for now. Dustleo has had enough, and he's going to commit onto the backline. Tries to find Gala, but she flies away quite aptly right now. Now goes into the backline. Grav comes in. And the Nanoblade cannot do anything now. The Booms comes in. Ooh, clean execution. 4-man Grav Diva combo. And once again, it looked so dire. It looked so incredibly dire for Baby Servants, but Voidless, once again, with sub 50 HP, manages to stall onto the point, get back to his team. And once again, a very clean execution there, but in tank play. Incredible.
That Diva Bomb was so perfectly placed. Dustleo wanted to put the bubble onto it so it might not like reach the graviton, but
it got in, it's just snuck underneath it,
inside the graviton.
And don't forget, Foku was just Nanoboost. He was 97% on a blade, and instantly the Grav came in. No Nanoblade opportunities there, and Foku will just have to do it with a Dry Blade now against a Transcendence.
Exactly. And a Primal at that as well. You want to punish that, Winston? Good luck with 1000 HP on your back.
And put Zenyatta Transcendence in there as well. We'll be very curious to see how this works.
Bob coming in. Tactical visor at the same time.
Boyard gets taken, but a very early Transcendence committed. This might be Fokudangle's chance to get this blade going, but everyone in his team is falling. Fokudangle now pops up the blade, takes down Wayne, but he gets instantly taken down. And it would seem that we're seeing yet another full hold for Team Baby Servants. They're getting a lot of work done here. Voidless takes down yet another one. The Resurrect comes in. And once again, a very clean full hold, very disciplined. But do keep in mind as well, there were a couple of moments when the situation looked very dire, but Voidless and his team really managing to get those clutch plays going and to just get the team over the finish line. That's exactly what they'll be needing to do right now. Point A is all they need to seal the series.
Exactly. It seems like Team Blue or Baby Service has a bit more, I think, a bit more, what's it called?
Synergy?
A bit more synergy
potential?
and just the communication is on point. You constantly see that either one is contesting and the rest is grouping up, while Team Red constantly went in one by one, trying to win that fight.
Yeah, it was a very messy fight, and like we said, it's anyone's game, but as we've seen so far, it just seems like Baby Servant is just that tiny bit more apt in getting those combinations going, both in abilities. We saw it on Horizon Lunar Current, the Halt Hooks combos with the EMPs, the hacks, was all very clean. And once again now, when the situation was looking dire, Voidless just managed to keep his cool, to stall on point very effectively, and then the Grav Divam came in and just sealed the deal again. That was so incredibly clean.
Exactly. Amazing play coming out here from Baby Servants. However, am I seeing
when in doubt, goats it out?
I mean, we still need 2 players to pick.
I mean, we still need 2 players, but we know Fokudangle, he might be able to play a bit of Diva because they've been getting into those type of compositions because they see the necessity, and Boyard is an excellent support player. In the meantime, we're seeing they're trading back and forth indeed, and
yes,
we are seeing Zen Goats When in
We are
doubt,
seeing
goats it
the
out.
goats composition come out.
But
They do not want to
triple
lose this map
sniper.
in any sort of way.
Triple sniper coming out from Team Baby Servants, and with all respect, what is a Brigitte or a Reinhardt going to do against 3 snipers with 2 damage boosts? It's looking very rough, and it would seem that Voidless has done a very excellent job together with his team at predicting what compositions are going to be run, because they are very, very scary now.
Exactly. Well, the goats thing is, well, with goats you want to deny space, but however, where they're holding from, they cannot really deny anything, and they're giving these snipers already a few sidelines. Dristic already up 40% to that dragon strike.
Indeed, and don't forget Voidless. In the absence of an off tank, if he actually gets to charge that bomb, he can definitely put him on there and get some extra top potential going. In the meantime, the fight is taking down around the payload, because that's where the little choke is centered, but there's so much
already
high
has
ground.
a dragon strike. It's already coming out.
Trouble has already fallen down.
Takes
Double
2.
kill. And with the Diva Mag, that's actually 3 kills from Dristic. Some healing comes in back and forth, but Team Red on the goats comes completely surrounded. Boyer takes down Dristic, but it may already be too late. Boyer takes down 2. He is not giving up this map just yet, but a res comes in, denying one of the kills that Boyer worked so incredibly hard for. In the meantime, Dristic finds yet another kill, and it would seem that it's just cleanup time now. And it would seem that in a very dominant fashion, it will be Baby Servants taking our first series here on the cast. Voidless takes down Focodaniel, and he's only 50% of the bomb, but that extra Valkyrie boost will get in. In the meantime, bench on the Lucius, 85% of beater, but he falls just in time to Kid Switch, and it's just the last bit of things going now. Suzuki gets a good shatter, but it will not matter too much, and Team Baby Servants will win the series 2-0, very dominant performance.
Their compositions are like really really well picked. The protect the soldier on defense was really nice. They could deny space from enemy snipers, and good luck diving a soldier with
and
a Zenyatta pocket, a Mercy pocket.
A very clean bubble that come in, but it just snuck underneath. And it will seem that we will be talking very briefly in maybe 1 or 2 minutes to Voidless, the team captain for Baby Servants. But like you mentioned, some very interesting compositions coming out from Team Baby Servants, and not just interesting in the sense that they are well-established or well-known compositions. They came in with some possibly experimental or lesser-known compositions and managed to pull them off very well, very well.
Amazing.
And with that said, we should be able to drag in Voidless into our team lobby and just get a bit of a talk going, because it was definitely a very clean performance from their team, and we'd love to get some more insights. Sure we all want to.
Nope.
Voidless, welcome.
Thank you.
First of all, congratulations on your 2-0 win over the Juice. It was a very dominant performance too, getting the 2-0 going, but full holds on both maps. Definitely impressive. What we were wondering, it seemed like you were very apt as a team to get your ultimates combined very effectively, but the same goes for your abilities. I was wondering, who is the leading person in getting those abilities to land as well as they do?
Not really as much as getting the abilities to combine. It's just, even though we haven't played together, there's a lot of synergy for the players. Everyone's playing very well together.
Nice.
Although everyone is very toxic towards me.
That's understandable.
I don't like that. But we're pretty much having Dristic lead us on team comps, and everyone knows what to do with each team comp.
Yeah, everyone knows their part.
Dristic really popping off on that soldier, to be honest, as well. You guys made that work really well, even though that was quite the off-meta pick.
Yeah, definitely.
Amazing soldier it is, I guess.
Indeed. Maybe you'll get back into the meta at some point. I was wondering though, Voidless, personally, on the Dorado 0.8 defense, you were antied on about 50 HP. Then you got back to your team for a bit, and you got antied again on about 50 HP. Was it sweating, or were you all cool and calm?
Well, honestly, I expected to die like 10 seconds earlier. For some reason, I didn't, and just played behind card, waiting for my Winston to get back. So that was really my only job there.
Alright. Well, you did it very well, and as you came back with that Graviton Diva combo, it just snuck underneath the Winston shield, got inside, denied the Nanobus on the Genji, 4 kills. That was very crucial.
Calculated Diva bombs.
Indeed.
They put me in Diva, Joe.
Hey, it happens. But once again, you did very well on that on the Diva right there. You managed to get a very clean series going. So once again, congratulations on your first win.
Thank you very much.
We'll be looking forward to possibly see more of this team, because if you keep it up like this, we'll definitely be seeing you in the next round in the knockout stages.
That's what we're aiming for.
Rightfully so. We got the images going from Team Baby Servants in Discord. I like it. Right. And with that said, it looks like our first series is over for now, and we will be going into our next series shortly. Anyways, thanks for stopping by briefly, and thank you to Voidless for making some time for a small interview.
No problem.
And it looks like
back to my team now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good job.
We're going for a quick intermission here.
It looks like
I
we'll be
think.
going for a quick intermission, but we will be back momentarily around 8 p.m. CET when our next set of matches will be live. Okay, we're clear
Okay.
to talk about whatever. Perfect.
Damn, that was actually
Damn. Yeah,
damn.
it was pretty rough. I must say though, like they have Kid Switcher and Evan are like who can both play a relatively similar role. Kid Switcher is the higher rated in that, but he does have the situation where he's not able to play throughout the entire evening because he lives in like Eastern Finland, so he's 1 hour ahead of us, and his parents don't appreciate an absolute ridiculous amount of noise during the night.